What is up everybody, Brandon SF101 here. Today we're going to be talking about how to play Fortnite in 2021. In this video we're going to be covering the best keybinds that you can use, the keybinds that I use and I found that work best for me, keybinds that I'd recommend you using. On top of that we're going to be covering some basic techniques to be using in 2021, and I'm going to be giving you some pro tips on how to improve your skills, win more fights and ultimately get more wins in Fortnite. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to be going through is the best keybinds for keyboard and mouse. This is for those of you who may be new to Fortnite, haven't played keyboard and mouse before, are just trying out keyboard and mouse, or have been playing keyboard and mouse for a while, but you want a few different tips on how to improve your editing speed, your building speed, and essentially get better movement within the whole game. Okay, so what I'm going to be showing you now are the keybinds that I use when I play Fortnite. I'm not necessarily saying that these are the best keybinds you could ever use in Fortnite. This is just what I find works for me, and I found the simplest, as I've only just started playing keyboard and mouse fairly recently, so this is what I use at the moment guys, and I find it to be very effective when coming up against enemies and coming into building battles and things like that. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I've pretty much left the movement the same. I've taken off the sprint because I've got auto run on. It's honestly saves you so much time and having to hit that shift button. At first it's a bit weird because you're used to playing other games where you need to use the shift button to sprint, but that's fine, you definitely get used to that. Crouch I've left as left control. Onto combat, we've got fire as the left mouse button as usual, target is the right mouse button as usual, reload I've got as R still, use I've actually got as E still, harvesting tool, now this is where some people like to have a little play around and find out which button works best for them. I found for me it's G, and I'll come on to editing in a minute, and I've got my editing key as F, but I'll show you that in just one second. The weapon slot buttons I've kept the same. As you can see, weapon slot 1 to 5 is just 1 to 5 on the keyboard. As we come on to build, and this is where you'll be able to see that I've changed quite a few of my keys. Starting from the wall, I've got this as my left shift button. The floor, I've actually got a C and X, so I can hit either one of those to equip the floor. I've done this because when you first start playing keyboard and mouse, what I found is having X and C right next to each other, it's quite hard to tell which button you push. So if you equip them to X and C, then you've got a better chance of hitting that floor button when you need it and not missing that key, especially if you are new to keyboard and mouse. Stairs I have got as my thumb mouse button, so guys I'll show you here quickly. As you can see, I've got a button on the side of my mouse which is the back one here, that's for my stairs. So guys, if you haven't got like a gaming mouse or anything like that, highly recommend doing that guys, because if you have that as your as one of your keybinds, it will make a huge difference to your building speed. And finally I've got my roof as Q, so I found that works best for me. Some people like to have it as E and have Q as the use button, but this is just how I like to have it. I've set my trap to T, just because it's fairly close, and I think it was Y before and it was a bit too far away because I've only got small hands. I've got my change building material as caps lock because it's right next to your A button. It's very easy to hit if you want to quickly change material. I've got my building edits to F. Now guys, this is where it's quite important as well. So with all the floor, wall, stairs and roof, following that is the building edits. So you want to make sure that you've got these set correctly. So what you want to do guys is have building edit as F, have backslash as your second edit key. Then what you want to do, come down here to where it says reset building edit, and basically what this means is when you hit F twice, when you hover over your building, basically it will reset it if you've edited it. And honestly guys, this will save you so much time. It will give you a much better chance of winning more fights. So give this a go and let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And from here guys, all the rest I've left the same, so once you've set those keys you're pretty much good to go. Okay, so the last part to set up keyboard and mouse is to set your mouse sensitivity. Now, this is one of the most important things, guys, when you start playing keyboard and mouse, because you want to make sure your mouse is set at a comfortable sensitivity that you're happy to play with and that you don't miss all your shots with. So what I found, I've gone on a few aim trainers and had a little play around. The best sensitivity that I've found for myself is around 13 to 14. As you can see, I've got around 13.5 set as both of these, my X and Y. You want to try and keep these pretty much the same. If you do change one or the other, then it means you'll have a higher sensitivity or lower sensitivity going in either left, right or up and down. Targeting sensitivity I've got at 70%. And scope sensitivity, so when you use a scoped gun and you aim down sight, this will be at 50% of the speed, so it'll be nice and slow when you're trying to track people at long range. quick tip for you guys. So for the movement, I like to make sure that I have auto sprint on. So what you want to do is sprint by default, have that set to on. For my building, you may have heard this before, but I always make sure I use turbo building. It just completely speeds things up when you're trying to build, and especially if you're new to the game, this will help you massively. And also confirm edit on release. So once you have clicked on a building to edit it, as soon as you take your finger off the mouse button, it means that it will confirm the edit and you're good to go. As some of you guys may know, in 2021, Fortnite is all about taking the high ground. So I'm going to show you a couple of techniques on how to get the high ground safely. Okay, so the first technique that I'm going to show you guys is probably the most important thing you'll ever learn in Fortnite. Now these are called 90s. I'm going to do a whole separate video on this because there's so many different types of 90s you can learn. However, I'm going to be showing you guys the original 90s, and these are what most people believe to be the best 90s because they are the safest and they protect you the most out of pretty much all of them. Okay guys, so what you want to do when you're starting off, you want to place a ramp, floor, then a wall. Now this just gives you a nice framework to start off with. It saves you from getting shot down as easily because you have that floor and a wall to protect you a little bit more. And what you want to do from there is you want to run up the left side, you want to place wall, wall, look down, jump, floor, ramp, and then you want to keep doing that. So you want to go wall, wall, look down, jump, floor, ramp, wall, wall, look down, jump, floor, ramp, wall, wall, jump, floor, ramp. And then basically guys, why you look down is because if you don't, this will happen. So if you go wall, wall, if you don't look down, so if you just go floor, ramp, as you can see it's put a floor above my head, and if I go run up to it, it just traps me and you basically get stuck. This will give the opponent the opportunity to take the high ground, and therefore you'll be in a bit of a sticky situation when it comes to fighting them in a build battle. Okay guys, so the second technique I'm going to be showing you is basically a protected ramp rush. So essentially what a ramp rush is when one person runs up one side and ramping up like this, you'll have your opponent ramping up from the other side, and basically it's whoever can build a ramp over the opponent's head first and take the high ground. So as you guys can see here, this is just a simple ramp rush, and there's no protection on it or anything. Literally, if you wanted to shoot this down, as you can see, if you're standing at the top there, it'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots, and then basically you've broken down and you fall to your death. So I'm going to show you guys a little technique of how to avoid this, and it will give you a little bit more protection if somebody was trying to shoot you down, give you that little bit more time to try and kill them or try and stop them shooting at you. Okay, so what you want to do guys, to start off, you want to place a ramp, then you want to place a floor, then you want to place a wall. Ramp, floor, wall. As soon as you run to the top of the ramp, you want to place your next ramp, and then as soon as you cross over, you want to place your floor and your wall, and this is how you do it the most successful way. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's got quite a lot of protection now from both underneath and from the sides. So if somebody was at a similar level to you, it would take 10 shots to get through there. If somebody was underneath you, again it would take 10 shots there to break you down. I started playing Fortnite guys in chapter 2 season 5, so I've been playing for less than 2 months now. At the end of the last season, my overall KD was about 1.8. Now in less than 2 months, my KD has gone up to over 3.8, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how I've done that. Okay guys, so basically how I've done this is that every day that I wanted to play Fortnite, instead of jumping into a random game, all I've been doing is jumping into creative, practicing the basic techniques, improving my skills, and being able to find someone that you can 1v1 with on a daily basis that is also better than you, which will also help you improve your skills faster. Now I'm going to be showing you guys some of my favourite creative maps that I like to use when I'm practicing. First one is called Crank Simulator version 2. The code is on the screen now if you want to try it out. And basically guys, what this is, you have a ramp and you can build basically whatever you want. There's no height limit, and you can change the settings here. As you can see, you can put it at 1.3 times speed, you can put it on half speed, you can also change it to no fatigue and put it back to normal. One thing I'd highly recommend if you're going to try this out is trying it at half speed if you're new to the game. Then you can practice the routines and techniques. Once you've nailed that, then go on to normal, and then eventually put it on 1.3 times speed, because then once you've learned on 1.3, when you come to do it on normal speed, you'll be way better and it'll feel like you're just doing it in slow motion. Okay, so the next map we're going to be going through is the aim training map. The code is on the screen now. I'd highly recommend, guys, starting off with these ones in the middle here. If you look behind me, you can see you've got a wall of guns, so you can pick what weapons you want. Then jump into these. I'm going to go on a dynamic first, and then go into range, medium, go into free play. With this one, all you have to do is track the zombie and try and kill him before he gets to the end, which is up here in this corner. What I'd recommend for this is take a few different guns in, try out different weapons that you like. This would be awesome as well for figuring out which sensitivity you want to use on your mouse and fine tuning those settings to a point that you're happy with. So guys, this is a 1v1 aim training map as well. However, you do need a buddy for this, so all you do is you grab a weapon, run through one of the doors which says the amount of health you want, pick a scenario out of all of these ones listed here. And as you can see, it will load you into a 1v1 scenario where you're boxed in and you have the amount of health that you picked, and you have to basically, first one to kill the other person wins.